Hey guys, welcome to the Fall 2020 Students Association Government and Class Council Election Interest Meeting video. My name is Frederick Liu and I'm currently serving as your election coordinator. So before I go into detail, I'm going to run you through what you are going to learn after watching this video. First, we're going over the basic structure of Students Association Government and Class Council, which I will bring Justina, who's the president of the SA, Connor, who's the Chief Justice of All Campus Judicial Council, which is the judicial branch of the SA, and also Alexander, who is currently serving as the Speaker of the Senate within the legislative branch. And also I'll bring in some of the members from the Class Council to give you a brief introduction on their program. After the brief introduction on the structure of the SA and Class Council, I will also introduce you to the basic campaign rules that you will be following during the election and also the timeline of the election itself, which will include, when are you going to vote, when can you start campaigning, and when are you going to submit your candidacy profile. So yeah, let's do this. Justina.
Hello everyone, my name is Justina Gorka and I'm the president of the Students Association for the 2020-2021 academic school year. My job within SA is to directly oversee the executive branch with the help of my vice president, Mark Haddad. My role is very administrative focused overall. I communicate a lot with various departments, sit representative on a number of university committees, and overall address overarching issues on the River campus. The list goes on. My position is relatively flexible in and of itself, and you could say that's the same case for members under my branch. Within the executive branch, there's a collection of secretaries with titles specific to their particular area of focus. We have the Chief of Staff, the Secretary of Public Relations, the Secretary of Community Engagement, and the Secretary of Alumni Advancement. In more recent years, we've also introduced the Minority Student Affairs Liaison that acts as our designated representative for minority student community advocacy. Although the titles of these positions are relatively self-explanatory as for what expectations each role has, there's nothing really set in stone. Expectations are generally very flexible and evolve with the person who holds that position in that particular term. So unfortunately, the only opening that we have at this time in the executive branch is the Minority Student Affairs Liaison. However, we directly work with MSAP to coordinate nominees for that particular role. So you're out of luck unless you've happened to have sat on a cultural e-board before for an organization. What I will say though is that if you are interested in getting involved in the executive branch still, that there is the potential of you working as a deputy for one of these roles that I mentioned earlier. I just ask that you reach out to have a one-on-one conversation with the position in particular you find most interesting. There is always the potential that the representative might take you on as a deputy for that year, so that you can work together towards mutual goals.
Hello everyone, my name is Connor Sandagata, and I'm the Chief Justice of the All Campus Judicial Council for the undergraduate student government at the University of Rochester. I coordinate and liaise on behalf of the Council, which serves as the judicial branch of SA, as well as, more commonly, student representation for the academic honesty and conduct processes. This is me. Introductions aside, the judicial branch is composed of 11 justices total. One of them serves as chief, another one of them serves as deputy chief. Justice's main job is to serve as student representation in the academic honesty process. Two of us sit on every case involving an undergraduate student, and in those cases we're paired with 3 professors to comprise that hearing board. The council also assembles in the case of an appeal, when an action of a student organization or SA itself is called into question by another student. Justices also tend to serve on an advisory committee, consulting with administrators in their area of specialization or interest. Those generally concern student conduct, though some have to do with policymaking. The time commitment required to be a justice varies, but we try to split the work evenly. BAH hearings typically take about an hour and occur at different times throughout the week. Justices are expected to sit on at least 5 cases per semester, though those who do not sit on a committee prefer to sit on more cases. Often it's determined by scheduling. The council meets at 3 o'clock every Friday for general meetings, and that time can be converted into an appeal hearing should an appeal be filed. Same thing applies for conduct. Here's a brief flowchart of the way the appeals work, but feel free to contact me with any questions. Applications for associate justices positions open in mid-spring. I hope to see a lot of you there. Again, please feel free to email me at sa_chiefjustice@rochester.edu if you have any questions about the process. Thanks so much. Have a good day.
Hi everyone, my name is Alexander Pavlison and I'm the Speaker of the Senate, the leader of the legislative branch in the Students Association government. The legislative branch is centered around a Senate, which includes 18 elected senators. 4 Senate seats are open for the first-year class this fall, and there are 14 other senators from the sophomore, junior, and senior classes combined, all elected in the spring. Each senator sits on 1 or 2 Senate committees. These committees, which also include members like a committee chair, deputy committee chair, and legislative advisors, those are all appointed positions, work on legislation and projects to improve the student experience. The 6 main standing Senate committees are Academic Affairs, Appropriations, Campus Services, International Student Affairs, Organization, Administration, and Review, and Student Life. The Organization, Administration, and Review Committee and the Appropriations Committee are unique because senators or legislative advisors who sit on these committees focus on the operations of student organizations on campus. The time commitment required for each position in the legislative branch varies. Senators are expected to attend a weekly Senate meeting, usually from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Monday nights, as well as a weekly committee meeting. Outside of these 2 meetings, senators are also expected to work on legislation or projects that make a difference for the student body. This can take anywhere from just a couple hours to several hours throughout the week, depending on the interest level of the senator and the difficulty of the project. The average time commitment for a senator is about 5 hours per week. Legislative advisors attend weekly committee meetings and help senators work on projects or legislation that make a difference for the student body. The time commitment is more variable than being a senator and doesn't require running in an election, since the position is appointed by each committee chair after holding interviews. The average time commitment for legislative advisors is anywhere from 1 to 5 hours per week. Committee chairs are responsible for running the operations of their committee, including holding a weekly committee meeting, presenting to Senate, and liaising with university administrators to implement the committee's legislation and projects. Deputy committee chairs assist the committee chair in their duties and may attend meetings in their place if needed. Committee chairs are appointed by the president after an interview process and being confirmed by the Senate. The average time commitment for a committee chair is upwards of 5 to 10 hours per week. Deputy committee chairs are appointed by each committee chair and have an average time commitment of 2 to 5 hours per week. So now let's talk about the open positions in the legislative branch this fall. First off, I want to let you know that you do not have to be living on campus in the fall to run for a Senate seat or any other position in SA government. There are a total of 4 first-year Senate seats available in the fall 2020 election. There are often several candidates for Senate, but only a few are able to be elected to the position. Do not worry. There are also several other ways to get involved in SA government. Many Senate candidates who do not win a Senate seat apply for legislative advisor positions, committee chair positions, or deputy committee chair positions that all have an open interview process after the election. There is also a spring election process where you can run again for a Senate seat if you choose. Senate meetings and committee meetings are open to the public and have a portion of the meeting that's dedicated to hearing student concerns. This semester, the meetings will be virtual. You are welcome to attend and get to know the legislative process as well as share your concerns. You do not have to hold a position in SA government.
Hi, I'm Alyssa, and I'm the 2021 Class Council President.
Hi, I'm Zabit. I'm the 2023 Class Council President, and today we're going to be talking about the purpose of the Class Council of the U of R.
At large, each Class Council is a programming body that oversees yearly programming for each class year. The Class Council is directly responsible for ensuring that yearly traditional events are programmed in the most efficient manner, and it also tends to the unique needs of each class year by organizing specific events based on the interests of their year, specifically for the purpose of fostering greater school spirit and providing bonding opportunities within the college community. All 4 class councils also collaborate on some signature annual events like Spirit Week, Mel Weekend, and Barbaquad.
So every year, each class year elects a total of 8 council members. After the top 8 are elected, internal elections are held within each class council to appoint individuals to 6 distinct positions within each class council: the president, the vice president, business manager, secretarian, publicity manager, and 3 program chairs.
Each class council meets once a week. Generally, the work is well divided between all members of the class council, and close bonding and smooth communication ensures that the workload is really manageable. Each member spends a couple hours a week on class council work, with specific times of the year being busier than others.
So since each class year has their own class council, elected specifically by their own class, all 8 members in each class council are eligible to run for any of the 6 distinct positions. While all members of the class council are always expected to share the workload equally, each position does come with some specific responsibilities. Each class council has a significant budget that they can utilize for programming purposes, which means you can host massive and amazing events while not having to fundraise for them at all. So the class council, in effect, is a great opportunity to contribute towards the campus community and help foster a healthy environment for your campus and your class year specifically. And given the current situation with the pandemic and COVID, the class council will likely play an essential role in helping students have the best college experience they possibly can.
Over the past 3 years on Class Council, I've had the opportunity to work with student organizations, official campus departments, and administration. This has allowed me to develop my organizational and interpersonal skills, both to plan large-scale events and also network professionally across campus. Our annual events like the Roller Skating Social, Night at the Amherst, and Winterfest are so much fun to both work and attend, and seeing students, staff, and alumni enjoying time together is so exciting. My favorite part of being on Class Council has been watching the community within our class evolve and grow, and has been an integral part of my experience at the University of Rochester.
Beyond class council, I personally am part of the Students Association's government as a senator. So while the purpose of class council is to add and develop school spirit, help build a community that is most conducive for the students on campus, senators often work on advocating for student needs and interacting with various administrators to bring about any pertinent changes that they may be advocating for. For instance, the extension of spring break last year due to COVID-related equity concerns. So being both on class council and Senate can give you this unique opportunity to utilize the overlap between programming and advocacy and develop a number of extremely valuable skills, including event planning, policy development, networking, and eventually advocacy skills. What's effectively great, therefore, is that you can run for both Senate and class council at the same time, be a senator and class council at the same time, as long as you're willing to commit to both.
I hope that you'll consider running for Class Council and will take this unique opportunity to foster school spirit and develop a supportive community within your class, as both you and the members of your class grow over the course of your college education.
Make sure to attend our Activities Fair event and our general interest meeting in the fall. Thank you.
To the campaign rules. These are the rules that you'll be following during the election, and I have one suggestion. Please do not break them. It will not be fun because you will be subject to some point penalties, which I will be addressing later in this video. And yeah, let's move on. So before we step into the logistics of the campaign rules itself, I'm going to answer the most asked question ever. Where can I find the campaign rules? So just please go to this website. It's called sa.rochester.edu/elections. So on here, you'll basically be able to access all the relative rules regarding campaigning, and also the information about the election timeline and all that kind of stuff. Just go to this website and you have all the information there. And also, this is one thing that I want you to keep in mind, is that you will not be able to access candidacy form before you finish this election rules quiz. So this is a thing that we have created last year as to make sure that the candidates that will be running during our elections will be able to understand the rules most comprehensively, and we're just there to test the knowledge of you on campaign rules and make sure that you don't break them. Really simple. It's gonna be around like 10 questions, maybe a little bit less. It's just basic knowledge, like when will the election start, when can you start campaigning, and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, so again, you're not able to access candidacy form before completing the rules quiz. And the deadline for the candidacy form is September 3rd at 11:59 p.m. So after this time, you'll no longer be able to submit your candidacy form without a penalty. And also make sure that you change your make sure you set in stone your platform and also your photo before the deadline, because as you see here, you may not change your platform or photo after the deadline. So before we jump into the rules, you have to understand, what is campaign? Like, how do we define this in this in the essay? A campaign, as you see on the screen, is a planned intentional attempt to help a particular candidate or multiple candidates to be elected to positions in a student government or class council. So any actions of any sorts with the goal of helping a candidate to get elected considered as a campaign. So how will campaigning work given that a majority of students are not on campus? This actually was the same thing for the spring election last year, where we have to do everything online. So this time, exact same thing. We again have to do everything online, because there are students that, you know, not like us who are lucky enough to be on campus. They still have to be at home and taking courses online, but still want to run for elections. In order to be more fair, we decided that we still gonna keep everything online, and no physical campaigns are allowed. So yeah, so basically, yeah, so let's go to the logistics. So campaign assistance, I'm going to give you the definition of the basic terms. Campaign assistance. So anyone that is assisting a candidate to win or to run his election considered as campaign assistance. So let's say, my name's Fred, right? Let's say my friend Shiton decided to help me campaign by posting a Facebook post online, which, is not, according to the university, it offended a lot of people. It wasn't good according to the university policy. Me, as the candidate, Fred, I am actually responsible for Shiton's post. So, basically, what I'm trying to say here is that make sure you talk to your campaign assistants and make sure you be really communicative with what she or he will post, and what he or she would do for your campaign, because you are the one that's responsible for the things that the campaign assistant or your friend is doing for your campaign. Next, types of campaigning. What are the types of campaigning? There are literally 3 types, as you see here. There are one type. The first type is called prohibited campaigning. So these are the things that you're not allowed to do in any sorts of situation. And these are just like the laws that you cannot break. Laws are not breakable, of course. They are breakable, but they're not allowed to break. But these are the rules that are set in stone, that won't change in any time frame. And secondly, we have these things called private campaigning and public campaigning, which I will go into detail later on. So these are the things that are that are semi-prohibited, but it really depends on what time frame are you in right now. As you see over here, we have defined prohibited campaigning as campaigning that is not allowed at any time frame. And private campaigning are literally actions that are being taken behind the scenes, to, for example, you're building it like what it says over here. When you're trying to build a team of campaign assistants, you're finding your friends to help with you campaign. That is called private campaigning. But when you tell those people to publicize those campaign materials, so the things that you're preparing for, that becomes public campaigning, which is not allowed until September 6th at 11:59 p.m. So there's this thing called campaigning period, as you see over here. This period is the only period where you're allowed to campaign. Not campaign, but doing public campaigning stuff. And it ends, I'm sorry, I have a thing over here. And public campaigning ends when the voting period ends. So the voting period ends on September 11th at 10 p.m. And that's when you have to stop campaigning for your campaign. And let's move on from that. So private campaigning. So what are some features of private campaigning? As I said before, communication. When you're trying to recruit people for your campaign, that is private campaigning. That's like direct messaging individuals who have subscribed to the social media account of the candidate is considered as private campaigning, as it is necessary to form and work with campaign assistants. So any communication inside the inner circle that you have are considered as private campaigning. And also these are also including unpublished materials. For example, you have some posts that are made from, let's say, Photoshop that have vote for candidate A, B, or C on there. As long as it's not being publicized, you're able to do that before the campaign period starts. And it's still considered as a private campaign material. And let's go to public campaigning. So public campaigning are things that you do, I hate to say that, but things you do in the light, or in the public where everybody can see. So that includes social media posts, Facebook posts, Instagram posts, Snapchat posts, etc. Anything that you make the public to see that considered as a public campaign. And also publicized website as well. If it decides to make a website called voteforfred.com, my name's Fred, voteforfred.com, that is also considered as a public campaign, which is not allowed until you enter the campaign period. And also, campaign profile, like that includes, what I said before, the social media posts, the Photoshop picture that you made, that you want to post. If you decide to post that on a public social media, or just social media in general, then it would consider it as a public campaigning. And also opt-in forum. Excuse my accent. Opt-in forum. So this is like saying, you are trying to post in a public forum which the message recipients have voluntarily subscribed and to which members may unsubscribe. So this includes such as, for example, if you decide to create a Facebook page just for your election and you allow people to unsubscribe from that Facebook page, then you're able to post in whatever you want in that Facebook page. But however, make sure to take a note of this. This is important. Do not post anything in the official in our official class page. So for example, if you're a class of 2024, you are not allowed to post into the official page of the class page. Why? Because people are not be able to unsubscribe from that due to the information that due to the fact that in the future there might be important information that administrators trying to convey through that platform, and if people get annoyed for your campaign materials, they decide to unsubscribe from the class page, then they won't be able to get those future important messages from the administrator anymore. So therefore, that is one exception. So do not post on the official University of Rochester class page or class of 2024 page. Just please do not do that. And also, what kind of public campaigning is also seeking endorsements. So if you join a club, let's say you join the undergraduate, let's say like CS club or some other clubs that you want to join, you're allowed to have endorsements from them, right? But you just have to let the president know, and the president have to let the executive board know, and the executive board have to let the whole club know that they're endorsing you in order for these endorsements to be sound and valid. And in any situation, please do not send like mass emails or using, if you're a member of the student organization and if you're elected to the board, please do not send mass email to the members of the club for the benefits of your election. Just please do not do that unless the whole club approves you to do that. Yeah, so that's seeking endorsements. And let's go to prohibited campaigning. So what are the prohibited campaigning? What are the things that you cannot do at all time? First, physical campaigning. Because we are still in this COVID situation where some people are studying at home and not be able to be on campus, we decided to basically remove all physical campaigning abilities. That means you're not allowed to post any flyers, hand out any brochures, or chalking anywhere. Just do anything that's physical regarding your campaign. So you're not allowed to go to a friend and pass them a flyer, say, hey, vote for me. You're also not allowed to put any flyers at anywhere on campus that says vote for me, or any stuff that relates to your campaign. Do not do that. That will be unfair for the people who are not able to be on campus. And also unsolicited direct messaging. This means that that you cannot direct message people who are not who have not subscribed to the social media of the campaigner. And this also includes your campaign assistants as well, because you're responsible for them. So, here's an example. You're not able to use Facebook Messenger to direct message someone who's not who's not a friend of you on Facebook. And this also includes texting, calling, and video calling, or etc. Whatever means you think is possible. You're not allowed to do that. However, you're still allowed to text your friend saying, hey, vote for me. But still, if that person you're texting is not one of your Facebook friends, then you're not allowed to do so. And also, again, let's go back to this class Facebook page thing. People are not allowed to, people are not able to unsubscribe from the class page. You are able to, but because of the important information that we'll be sharing within the class page in the future, just do not do it. Do not campaign in the official class page, because it will just, once people get annoyed and once if they leave, future information will not be successfully delivered to everybody. So do not campaign there. Mass emailing, again, I said it before. Do not email anyone without consultation. If you're a club member, do not email anyone without the consultation of the organization's executive board. Yeah, so basically, again, it goes back to the endorsements. If you want the club to endorse you, make sure you let the president know, make sure you let the whole executive board know, and if possible, please let the whole club know that you're running. And if they came into a decision to endorse you, then congratulations, you're endorsed. But other than that, you cannot say any club that endorses you without letting them know that you're being endorsed. Yeah, and also academic campaigning. So this is totally prohibited. You are not allowed to campaign in class. For example, if I'm taking this logic class, you're not allowed to, literally when you enter the classroom, pass everyone, let everyone know that you're running for election. You're not allowed to do that because it is an academic setting, and no campaigns are allowed in an academic setting. Next, other campaign rules that you have to keep in mind. So campaign finance. This is what we have created. We have renovated last year too. So basically, there's a limit on the money you have to spend as a candidate. So ignore the presidential election because fall election is not about presidential election. But as for Senate and class council campaigns, you are only allowed to spend $40 on your campaigning. And that means, and here's the key point: if you're running for class council and you're running for Senate, your monetary so the amount you can spend is still $40. You cannot add the 40 plus 40 equals to 80. It does not work here. You can only spend $40 no matter what you're running for. You can run for Senate, then you can spend. If you're only running for Senate, you can only spend $40. If you're only running for class council, you still can only spend $40. If you're running for Senate, both Senate and class council, you're only allowed to spend $40 as well. So if you look at here, in other words, if a candidate is running for multiple positions, they shall not spend any more than the ceiling limit for the position with the highest spending limit. So over here, the highest spending limit is 40. 40 equals to 40. Then you cannot spend more than $40 on both of your campaigns, combined. And also, people might find ways say, hey, my friend gave me this money. No, that's if your friend gives you the money, it's still considered as monetary contribution. And for example, if your friend gives you $20, you may assume that, oh, now I have $40, $60 to campaign for my Senate. No, if you receive $20, they will consider it as a monetary contribution. So your limit is still $40. So whatever thing you're trying to do, your limit is still $40. Campaign materials. So you may not remove or deface any other. So this is more applicable during physical campaigning period, but still, do not do anything bad with other people's campaign materials online. Although we're doing full online, it's impossible to do anything wrong with those online campaigning materials, but still just do not destroy other people's hard work. And also make sure that you do not include any profanity in your campaign materials as well. Harassment. You may not harass any other candidates or voters. So that means when the voters are voting, you are not allowed to go out there and say, hey, vote for me, vote for me, vote for me. You do not harass them. Okay, let's go to the point penalty system. This is a system which gives you a general idea of how many points you'll be deducted if you violate one of those campaign rules that I listed before. So it is an at-point system, so which means instead of deducting points from your candidacy, I call it candidacy bank with a quotation mark, we add points to your candidacy bank. So if you collected 20 to 29 points, then you will lose the ability to public campaign for 24 hours. If you collect 30 to 39 points, as you see here, you will lose your ability to publicly campaign for 48 hours. And the list goes on. So what I suggest people to do, again, as I said before, just do not break any of these campaign rules. If you have any questions regarding campaign rules, feel free to email me about it, or just go to the sa.rochester.edu/elections website to look for more details. So yes, so that's it. That's it for the campaign rules, and we can jump into election timeline next. Election timeline. Candidacy deadline is on September 3rd, 11:59 p.m. So please submit your candidacy form before this time. And then please do not start public campaigning until the campaign period begins, which is on September 6th at 11:59 p.m. The voting period begins on September 10th at 10 a.m. and it ends on September 11th at 10 p.m. And the voting results will be available on September 12th, any time of the day. I'll just be sending out a group email saying, hey, the result is live, and please visit sa.rochester.edu/elections to view the results. Other information before we depart. Elections Violation Committee. This is what I consider the court of elections. So for example, if a person submit a violation form to the elections committee, we will consider someone potentially violate a campaign rule. We will basically review the violation form. We will consult with each other. We will think, and we basically adjudicates the violations and determine whether or not sanctions are necessary and what sanctions will be the most proper. And the committee will consist of me, who is the elections coordinator, the SA president, the chief justice, and speaker of the Senate, and also SA advisors. Candidacy submission form. So you will basically need to put your name, your preferable name on the form, a picture of you, and also the position you're running for. In addition, a platform that you want to put as according to your position. Basically, you would just have to write a couple things saying, hey, why do you want to run for this position, and why do people should vote for you, or something like that. How does voting work? At University of Rochester, we, at Student Association Government, we do this thing called approval voting. So essentially, before I came to University of Rochester, I have no clue what approval voting is, because what I learned from AP Gov or some other courses back in high school, I thought you can only vote for one person, one candidate in an election. However, approval voting allows you to do not the opposite, but the premium version, the VIP version of that. So basically, you're allowed to vote for as many candidates you want. You just pick the candidates, you vote for them, and whoever comes out the most favorable, let's say candidate C at this time, wins the election. Last thing, contact information. Please, if you have any questions regarding elections, please email me. As you can see, my email is sa_elections@u.rochester.edu. If you have any questions regarding the executive branch, please email Justina or Connor, who's the Chief Justice. If you have any questions regarding all campus judicial council, what do they do, and what are the opening positions for the next spring election, just email him about it. And also Alexander, who's the Speaker of the Senate, he will answer all the legislative branch related questions to you. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, and I cannot wait to see you in person once everything becomes normal. Have a great day or have a great night. Peace.